On Tuesday, the official squads of all national teams got released. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna be reacting to them and see if my predictions align with the squads, you know, whilst I now have a bit more in-depth information. So in this part, we're gonna be reacting to groups A, B, and C. By my prediction, there are some teams especially I felt some hate of. It feels like I'm state enemy number 1 of Croatia because I predicted them to come third. Looking at their squad could be different, but you have to find out in the next episode. There's also some people saying I underestimated Switzerland and Denmark, so that we're gonna be finding out in today's video. So first up, in Group A, we've got Italy. The squad of Italy is very impressive. Like, this is a very, very good squad. Very, very good squad, and they could do really well. Because what I like with their squad is what they've done. They've got some experience in there as well, you know? They've got in defense the likes of Bonucci, Chiellini, Acerbi. You know, those are very experienced players. Rafael Toloi as well. So defensively, very experienced. In goal, obviously, Gianluigi Donnarumma, which is a big talent. And then if we're looking at midfield, you know, we've got Verratti, we've got Nicola Barella. Locatellius had a great season for Sassuolo. Lorenzo Pellegrini, Jorginho, Stefano Sensi, very good midfield as well. Attacking-wise as well, you've got Immobile, who will be key. The biggest surprise to me was personally Giacomo Raspadori. I've never heard of him. I don't really follow Serie A that well, but he's a striker of Sassuolo, a 21-year-old striker. A lot of people are saying, why not Moise Kean, perhaps? You know, similar age, same position. But what I've read is that Raspadori, he will obviously probably be a backup striker, but apparently he really fits the system Italy plays. So I think that's very, very good that Mancini has been looking at, okay, which players fit my system. And I respect that. And I think this is a very good squad that can go very far because they're impressive. They can become champions. They really can. Now, on to Switzerland. A lot of people said I underestimated Switzerland because in my prediction, they came 4th. And looking at their squads, obviously Jan Sommer, decent goalkeeper. You know, they're good there. Defensive-wise, Manuel Akanji, good player. Like, they've got a lot of Bundesliga players in here, like Kevin Mbabu is decent, Nico Elvedi, Fabian Schär for Newcastle United, Ricardo Rodriguez on left back. So very decent squad. In the past, Switzerland have always relied on Shaqiri though. I don't know how integral he still is to the squad. I think he's quite integral and he always performs well for Switzerland. But, you know, he hasn't really played any games for 2 years. Can he be good enough? Can he carry Switzerland? I don't know. But looking at other players, you know, Remo Freuler, very good player for Atalanta. Denis Zakaria, very good player. They have got a decent squad. I think defensively, they're probably stronger than anywhere else on the field. Forward-wise, I'm not 100% convinced that they have a striker who can score enough goals. I know Severovic has been scoring a lot of goals for Benfica though, and he's a decent player for them, but I've never personally seen him play, only in the past on tournaments, but he's never impressed me that much, so I'm not 100% sure. But I think Embolo would probably be their main striker, but I'm not sure. But Turkey, I predicted Turkey to go to the semifinals because they've got quite an easy route there if they become second in this group, potentially. But I think Turkey is a very, very strong squad, especially defensively. You know, in the center, you've got Demiral and Soyuncu. Soyuncu, a no-nonsense defender, fast, strong. I like him a lot. You know, one of my favorite defenders. On right back as well, Celik, who's been playing for Lille, and that team has been having a great season. In midfield as well, you've got Yazachi as well from Lille. You also have Çalhanoğlu, who's been having a good season again for AC Milan. But their key player is Burak Yilmaz. You know, at 35 years of age, he was in the shortlist of Player of the Season of League One. He fired Lille to the championship, and he's a very, very important player. And I think this team can do very well. Although it may not look as impressive, like from a bigger picture, I think they're a very solid team. You know, they've got a big togetherness, and I think they can do very, very well. Now we've got Wales. I mean, Wales isn't that great. Wales squad isn't that great. They have to rely on Ramsey and on Gareth Bale. But they've got some young talented players as well in Harry Wilson, in Daniel James, and David Brooks. You know, David Brooks especially, I think he's a very, very good player. But do they have enough? You know, like, Gareth Bale really needs to carry them, just like he did 4 years ago or like 5 years ago now. But do I think Wales can deliver another upset? I'm not sure. On paper, Switzerland's probably better than Wales. I can say that. I predicted Wales to come third, but on paper, Switzerland is better. Yeah, I think Switzerland may be third after looking at this squad, but you never really know. Well, over to Group B. First of all, we've got Belgium. I predicted Belgium to become the winners, and before the video started, that wasn't my intention. It wasn't my intention to have Belgium as the winners, but it just happened to be that way. But key to Belgium is obviously Lukaku and De Bruyne. Lukaku, immense form, you know? Kevin De Bruyne, one of the best players in the world. Thibaut Courtois, arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Okay, like defensively, they are getting older, you know? Alderweireld is past his prime, Vertonghen is past his prime, Vermaelen is past his prime, and they're part of the squad. Probably the starting lineup is going to consist of Alderweireld, De Nayer, and Young Vertonghen. And they're going to play with 3 in the back, 5 in midfield, and 2 up front. You know, I think that strategy to play with 3 in the back is very good, because then defensively you are a bit more solid. But also because, you know, Belgium doesn't really have a left back. But also if we're looking at the midfield, you know, Axel Witsel obviously still recovering. You know, I don't know 100% sure if he's going to be fit yet. But yeah, I think with Lukaku in such good form, with De Bruyne as a leader, with Eden Hazard, he's still a very good player for them. I think this is the last chance. This is the last chance because defensively they'll decline. And given the fact that it is their last chance, they may do very well because they feel like they need it. You know, they need to do it. Like this year, this is the year. This is the year for them, if they want to do it. I'm delighted as well to see Hans van Aken in there. I've never seen him play personally, but what I've heard from a lot of people is that Van Aken is a very, very good player, and that, you know, if he was playing in a bigger competition for bigger teams, he will be way more known. But yeah, I'm excited to see him perform on this level if he's given a chance in the starting lineup. Now, the Danish team, I also didn't give much credit to the Danish team. And I can understand why. I can understand why a lot of people are like, you know, you should really look at the Danish team. Because the Danish team is very, very solid. It's very solid. Kasper Schmeichel, outstanding goalkeeper. Defensively as well, you've got Christensen, you've got Joachim Andersen, who's been having a great season for Fulham. You've got Simon Kjær. Vestergaard as well has been having a good season for Southampton. So defensively, very, very good. Midfielder-wise, Matthias Jensen, I saw him in the playoffs for Brentford. He's a bit of a baller, you know. He's definitely a bit of a baller. In midfield as well, we've got Delaney, we've got Højbjerg, we've got Eriksen. You know, they can do very well. And in attack, Dolberg, Jonas Wind, Yusuf Paulsen, decent players, you know. They can surprise. They can definitely surprise. So I understand the feedback I've been getting on my video that I should have given more credit to Denmark because it's a very good squad and possibly one of their strongest squads ever. Okay, Finland. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these players I really don't have a clue about. You know, I know Glenn Kamara will be key for them, Teemu Pukki will be key for them, Marcus Forss of Brentford could be key for them. But besides that, you know, I'm not really sure. Lukas Hadrecki is also a good player, but you know, I don't think anybody expects Finland to do well, so they can only surprise, you know. If they lose all 3 games, you know, it's not a shame. It's not a shame at all. I don't know many of the players. I think a lot of other players also won't know many of the players, and that could work in your favor. Now, Russia as well. You know, not many players I know. I know Mario Fernandez. He's been around forever. I think he's getting quite old. You've got Golovin. You've got Roman Zobnin, who is, I think, a bit of a talent. But besides that, Miranchuk, perhaps of Atalanta. Artem Dzyuba will be key for them though. I think with his power. But yeah, at the World Cup, Golovin was key for them. Cheryshev has been key for them. I'm not sure about this team. I don't think they will perform that well. They probably are going to be third in the group, but Finland might upset them. Okay, then we've got Group C. Austria. Midfield-wise, I think they're very good. With Sabitzer, with Leimer. Schlager is a decent player from Wolfsburg, I know. And Sabitzer is someone who has the ability to predict games himself. So Sabitzer I really like. Marko Arnautovic is probably going to be key for them though, because attacking wise I don't think they're that great, but Arnautovic is a baller and, you know, just with his mentality he can win you games. In defense as well, David Alaba, obviously world-class player. Overall, not that impressed by this team, but they've got some very, very good players in there. And those very good players can easily make a difference. And I wouldn't be surprised that Austria could finish first with this team. Now, the Netherlands. I've talked about the Netherlands before. In here, Jasper Sillissen is not going to be part of the team anymore because he has been left home because he is infected with corona. And they called Bizot up of AZ as his replacement. So there's a big discussion as to who should be the first goalkeeper for the Netherlands. Tim Krul or Maarten Stekelenburg. On paper, very good team. We have a very good team on paper. You know, defensively, even with Van Dijk on, we still have Nathan Ake, we still have Matthijs de Ligt, we still have Stefan de Vrij. Decent central defense. And in midfield as well, we've got Frenkie de Jong, we've got Martin de Roon, Jorginho Wijnaldum. Those will be our key players in midfield. Gravenberg will probably also get a couple of chances to play. Davy Klaassen as well. We've got solid midfield too. And going forward, we've got Memphis Depay, very good player. I'm especially delighted to see Cody Gakpo in there. I think that's very deserved. I think he's been the best player of PSV this season. So Gakpo is really good to the team. Donjo Male as well in the team. Wout Weghorst also made the team, which is a bit surprising. But I'm not upset about it because he scored a lot in the Bundesliga. He's been very important to the Wolfsburg side who qualified for Champions League. Is he going to play as a starter? I'm not sure because I think Depay might be a striker. I know Frank de Boer has also played with Depay wide again. And that he might play with Luc de Jong or Wout Weghorst as the main striker. There were also a couple of upsets, like Bergwijn didn't make the squad. On paper, very strong squad, and we should be first with this squad in this group. But I'm just very scared that's not gonna happen. Now, North Macedonia. Honestly, I don't know many of these players. I know Alioski, I know Elmas, and I know Goran Pandev, and that's it. So this is a surprise package. We don't know what to expect. I don't think any European country really knows what to expect. You know, a lot of these players who are on the field probably don't know most of these players. But I'm not sure about this team. You know, they've got nothing to lose. They've got nothing to lose. They've got unknown names, nothing to lose. They can, you know, do really well. They can cause an upset. Because I think in this group, anything is possible. And lastly, we've got Ukraine. I expected Ukraine to be first in this group. Do I still expect that? On paper, they're probably not the strongest. And there are a lot of names here as well, you know, we don't really know about. But I think they could still be first. I think anything's possible here. But the point I made in the last video, in my prediction, was that Ukraine won the Under-20 World Cup. Like, there are a lot of youngsters in this team, like Denis Popov, Tsigankov, Zinchenko, Mikolenko, Shaparenko, Yaremchuk, also still quite young, scored a lot of goals in the Belgian competition. Also some more experienced players with Marlos, Malinovsky. I think this is a decent squad and I think they could surprise because, you know, a lot of these players, we don't really know much about them. We don't know much about them and that could cause an upset and I think they could do very well. But yeah, okay, that's been it for this video. I'm going to be reacting to the other groups in a separate video. Please let me know if you're from one of these countries what you think of your national squad. Are there any big players that really missed out here? Please give this video a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a couple of days for Part 2.
I live in the moment, praying for the future. I gotta maneuver, I just gotta